The Georgia Bulldogs had the best defense in all of college football last year, and it was one of the best defenses in college football history, if you ask me, a guy who covered the team. And a big part of that was due to their outstanding linebacker play. I'm, of course, talking about Nakobe Dean, the best linebacker in all of college football last year. Quay Walker and Channing Tindall. Those three had outstanding seasons, and I expect them all three to be chosen pretty early in April's NFL draft. So if you're Georgia, one of the bigger questions going into this season is how you replace these three fantastic linebackers. It's not going to be easy, and I'm not sure they're going to be able to replace all of those guys in an easy way, but they do have plenty of talent behind them who I expect to come in and have breakout seasons next fall, and that's basically what this video is all about. So quickly, we have to recap what Georgia's missing out on. Of course, Nakobe Dean, outstanding season, 72 tackles, 6 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, pick 6 against the Gators, game-changing interception early against Auburn when they were down in that ball game. The guy did everything. He should be a top 10 pick. He's fast. He knows how to tackle. He was a 5-star for a reason. It's going to be really hard to replace what he brought to the table for Georgia last year. Quay Walker in his best season as a Bulldog, 63 tackles, a sack and a half. The guy was all over the place. I think some Michigan running backs and receivers still have bruises from big hits that Quay Walker delivered. He's a guy that I hope my Falcons draft in maybe the second or third round. The guy can absolutely play. And, of course, Channing Tindall, all over the field, 67 total tackles last year, really came into his own in his 4th and final season. He was a highly ranked player out of high school as well, a high 4-star kid, and it really clicked for him this past year. 5.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. He was all over the place. He was an excellent spy when they were trying to corral some fast quarterbacks, especially like Bryce Young. They're going to need some more speed all over the place, inside or outside, and I think they have the guys to do it. Now, one guy who I think is going to have a breakout year, Jamon Dumas-Johnson, played a lot last year as a freshman. When Nakobe Dean was out, when Georgia was blowing teams out each and every week during the regular season, Dumas-Johnson was able to get into the ballgame. 21 tackles last year, 2 sacks. Of course, he had that pick 6 late in the game against UAB. He played, and it's because he's fast, he's instinctive. He can go sideline to sideline. He can run. He can run like Roquan Smith, Monty Rice, Nakobe Dean. He's the next guy. And with Glenn Schumann coaching him up, I expect him to be one of the best linebackers in the country. Maybe not next year. I think he's going to have a monster year. But in his 3rd year, this is another guy who I think if he develops properly, should be another first-round pick down the road for Glenn Schumann and Kirby Smart. So he's the guy who I expect to win the middle linebacker role that Nakobe Dean played last year. And I expect him to be one of the best in the conference in just his 2nd year next year. So definitely got to keep an eye on. Another, Tresman Marshall has been dealing with some injuries. He's was part of that 2019 class. So this is his 3rd year. He will be asked to do a little bit more, I expect, if he's healthy. He only had 6 tackles last year. Both of them came in blowout wins against UAB and Arkansas. But he's a little on the shorter side, but he can run. Played a lot of running back in high school. Tough, physical. He's got that South Georgia toughness that I know the staff loves. So he runs and he hits. And if he can continue to stay healthy and develop and learn from Glenn Schumann, he's a guy who I think could see plenty of playing time next year as well. Smile Munden, 5-star for a reason out of Paulding County. Long and athletic, about 6'3", 220 right now. So he's got the size. Played quite a bit. He had 10 tackles and 1 sack. Played a lot more towards the end of the year, especially on special teams. Did get in to the ball game in the national championship. So he's a guy that the staff wanted to get experience, especially on special teams. Just get him out there, get his feet wet, because he's a guy that they think highly of, and he's a guy who could have a really nice 2nd year next year if given an opportunity to play. And without the 3 guys coming back, there will be plenty of opportunities for these younger guys to play, and he's definitely one of them. MJ Sherman, former 5-star. They went after him instead of Will Anderson, who, they kind of play the same spot. Might be more of an edge guy right now, 6'3", about 250. A little heavier, getting a little heavier each and every year. But as long as that extra mass is muscle, I think we're going to be okay. But hasn't seen a ton of playing time. He's another guy who's been dealing with some injuries, but he was a top 20 recruit in the country. This is his 3rd year. This is a money year. You want to be 3-0 and go to the league, you have to have a monster year here. So Georgia still has Nolan Smith rushing on at outside linebacker. They still have Robert Beal on the edge. So he's still going to have to work and earn his playing time. Maybe he's a guy who could play in the middle of the field on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 scenarios, get some more added beef in there in the middle of the field, but can play on the outside. We know he can get after the passer. That's what he did in high school. It's why he was a 5-star. So this is a massive year for him. If he doesn't play in year 3, he might have to hit the transfer portal to play somewhere else this time next year. We'll see where he is on the depth chart in the spring. He could be a transfer guy this summer if he sees that the opportunity to play just isn't there, and some of these younger guys are kind of taking his spot or climbing the depth chart over him. So he's an interesting one. The talent's there. He's a 5-star again for a reason. We know what he did in high school because we went to go watch him. And this is go time for MJ Sherman for sure. Chaz Chambliss, another young linebacker who played a good bit last year as a freshman, 10 tackles. He had at least 2 tackles in every game in November. We saw what he did lighting up some poor Michigan Wolverine late in the game. He got hit for a targeting penalty, but his quickness, his strength, and his ability to pop you and leave a bruise is going to get him on the field sooner than later. He's another guy who could play outside, could play inside, gets after the passer really well. He's another guy that the staff loves. He was not super highly recruited out of high school, out of Carrollton High School, but Georgia loved him from the beginning. They've always had a plan for him. And we saw glimpses and flashes of what he could do last year when he was able to get into the ballgame. So Chaz Chambliss in his second year next year could be another guy who fights for a starting position inside or outside. Xavier Sori, another 5-star guy, riding the bench last year. Now, he was a freshman, so it's hard for anyone to get playing time as a freshman last year, even though Jamon Dumas-Johnson, Chaz Chambliss, and a few guys did it in garbage time. Xavier Sori only had 1 tackle last year, a little leaner than a few of the other guys, 6'3", 215. Still, I think he could play some inside, some outside. There's some versatility there. Lots of talent. The guy was just bullying kids in high school. I mean, just dominating them on offense, defense, everything. So it's easy to see the talent. There's a reason why they went hard after him and landed his signature last year. So he'll be in year 2. He's hungry. He's looking for some playing time. And it really all comes down to this spring. Who develops quicker? Who transforms their body differently? Who learns the playbook? Who can get after it and win in practice and win these coaches over? But Glenn Schumann knows what he's doing. He's one of the best developers of any assistant coach in the country. He is turning out pick after pick after pick. Roquan Smith, top 10 pick. He turned 3-star Monty Rice into a 3rd-round pick, I believe, who played last year. Now it's going to be Nakobe Dean's turn to wow everyone in the NFL Combine and in the interview process. He's going to be a 1st-round pick easily. So if you play for Glenn Schumann, you're going to be coached up. And a lot of these guys are going to take their game to the next level. I'm sure they learned a lot from Nakobe Dean, Channing Tindall, and Quay Walker. Now it's their time. And if Georgia's defense wants to be elite, some of these guys like Dumas Johnson, maybe Tresman Marshall, Small Mundit, MJ Sherman, Chaz Chambliss, the talent's there. These are 4- and 5-star guys. And if Georgia wants to have another elite defense, these guys have to step up, take their game to the next level, and earn a starting position, and then play like it. Play like they did out of high school and, the ranking that they had. Play like the guy that the Georgia staff expected them to be. So the talent's there. They're replacing 3 absolute studs from last year, one of the best defenses in college football history. They should be solid again on defense, but some of these linebackers are going to have to step up, and I think there's plenty of talent and opportunities for them to do so. What do you think? Leave your comments in the comments section. Let me know which linebacker you think is going to have a breakout year in 2022. Guys, thanks for watching this video. As always, stay tuned to the next one coming up right now, and I'll see you over on the website.